Let me put a microphone.
No worries.
David Miller from Covisint, and you brought with you a DeLorean. Is this with the Flux Capacitor or without?
This is with the Flux Capacitor.
It's the best car in the world,
So
isn't it?
this is the future. Right?
Speaking of the future, that's what you guys do. You look into the future, and you're talking about the future of the connected owner. I'm fascinated by this idea. What do you consider a connected owner?
So if you really think about the whole DeLorean, the whole experience, right? Although the car was the star, really, Michael J. Fox was really the star, kind of the owner of the car, the driver of the car. If you look at our connected vehicle programs today, it's really the driver or the owner of the vehicle that needs to be at the center. So one of the things that we do at Covisint is that idea of creating an experience that transcends the vehicle. So for example, with Hyundai now, instead of it just being in the car interaction, we also have a partnership with Google, so you can have a Google Glass interaction when you're outside of the car, right? Like looking and finding your car, right? Or transferring a map, right? Plus the web experience. So it's kind of that experience that's about me, the owner, and the vehicle as part of that ecosystem.
Now, I was also fascinated reading what the future of the connected owner is. You're talking about a driver will take his preferences, his or her preferences, basically with them. As they change cars, you get into a new car, it'll reset itself to what you want to have.
Right, so most people own multiple vehicles today, right? So there's a vehicle that my wife has, and there's the vehicle that I have. And if you really look at it, right, when I go from vehicle to vehicle, I'd like all the same settings, especially now that we're getting into more autonomous vehicles where we've got adaptive cruise control, things like that. I'd like it set to my kind of preferences, right, like sport preferences and that. So that's kind of a short-term thing. In the longer term, think about rental cars, right? Think about your company car, where as you go from vehicle to vehicle, when you rent a car, if you rent the same kind of vehicle that you already have, your SiriusXM station preferences go with you. The way that you want to drive goes with you. All your normal locations go with you, right? That's going to become an important thing because we kind of go from vehicle to vehicle. We carry our cell phones with us, right? But we don't carry our phones with us, and we kind of have to go from vehicle to vehicle.
So tell us what we'll see at the auto show here when we come down this week or next week. Who has Covisint in their vehicles? Now, you're one of these companies that people don't see necessarily a nameplate on the car. So help us out. Where are we going to find you?
Well, so what you're going to see is Covisint does, our big announcement last week at CES was related to our relationship with Hyundai. Right. So Hyundai has a BlueLink system in this new Hyundai Genesis, right? And we are the cloud method that allows that vehicle to connect, right, wherever that vehicle is, and connect that owner to his ecosystem. So we understand the model that says, I've already got Facebook friends, I want to bring my Facebook friends with me on my ride. And so we provide that connectivity to allow those folks to basically connect with Hyundai, right? I think in this next year you'll see a lot more announcements of where Covisint is, but you're right? We're kind of embedded in lots of things associated, and so our name doesn't kind of get out there.
As you look down the road, because everything that we see right now with Hyundai, for instance, is stuff that you've been working on for how many, 2, 3, 4 years past. What are you working on right now that we're going to see coming down the road? Where's the future of this connected driver?
Well, to your point, we've been working on this for 13 years, right? We started here in Detroit, created by the OEMs as a technology that by all rights really would be a Silicon Valley technology that's right here in Detroit. Right, and you're right. For a couple of years now, our focus has also been connected vehicle, amongst other things. Right. I think in the future, what you're going to see is a much more immersive type of thing, a connectivity in the vehicle that allows you to kind of walk up to your vehicle and continue the thing that you were doing. So imagine that what you're doing is you're listening to music and you're walking down the street and you get to the car that's already parked, and when you get in that vehicle, the song that you were already playing starts playing in your car, right? Look at some of the things that are related to directions, right? So we think about directions today where the car can get me to the place I want to go. But in a big city, that place oftentimes is the parking lot that's 4 blocks away from the place I want to go. Right. How do I get to that place then? Right? Imagine that directions then ended up going and being transferred to my cell phone or my Google Glass, so now I get walking directions to exactly where I'm going to go. So the vehicle will just become another experience in my whole connected world.
There was some fear a few years ago when technology first made its way into cars that we were all going to become distracted by the technology. Is what you do aimed at creating technology or making it more transparent?
So what we do is allow you to basically have the thing that you would have had to hold in your hand, right? So today we all take our cell phones into our vehicle and we all end up using that cell phone for either communication or navigation, and you're looking at that cell phone. People don't want to have to do that. What they'd like is for the vehicle to take over. So one of the things we are doing is that ability for that vehicle experience to follow that cell phone, right, connected type of experience, right? The other thing that we're doing is we're securing that access so that you don't have to worry about the security related to your vehicle having all of this information and access.
So in other words, you guys provide the cloud, which is where this information resides.
Yeah, and there's an advantage to it being in the cloud, right? So people don't keep their vehicles forever and ever, right? So we take our vehicle and we sell it to somebody else. I don't want all of my stuff to go with it. Now, obviously you could erase the vehicle like you erase your phone,
right,
but I also don't want to go into my new vehicle and then have to retrain it all of the things that I learned. By putting all that information up in the cloud, that information can go with me from a portability standpoint, not just to rental cars, but to the next vehicle that I purchase.
Okay, back to this right here. I want my flux capacitors. This is where it was right here, right?
Well, so the flux capacitor actually was inside the vehicle.
Oh,
right?
yeah, kind of back in the middle there. Yeah.
Right back here
This is where you
in the
fed
middle,
garbage
in the middle here, and right here is where they fed the garbage in, right? In the more future car, right? In the previous one, I think it took plutonium, and in this one, you can use your garbage.
So this right here to you guys is not the future. This is the present.
This is the present, right? This is exactly what we have today, right? All of the pieces necessary for us to have a connected experience are all completely available. It's just a matter of being able to put them together so they're seamless for the driver.
That's what Covisint's doing.
And that's what we're doing.
All right, David Miller, thank you so very much for stopping by and
Thank you.
And bringing the DeLorean. We love that car.
Thank you.
Let me take the mic off here so you don't tangle yourself up there.
All righty.
All right, thank you very much.
You.